Hey guys, what's going on? I'm John. In this video, we've got another product review. Today we're looking at the second generation lift trail camera by Exodus Outdoor Gear, the Exodus Lift 2. This camera's got a 2-inch viewing screen, a 0.3 second trigger speed, it's got 1080p video, and its detection range out to 60 feet day or night. Those are just some of the high points, but we're gonna check all that stuff out in this video. So let me break this video down for you real quick. We're gonna take a closer look at the camera. I'm gonna take you through all the functions of the camera. I'm gonna show you images as well as videos from my hunting trip in Africa where I tested this camera out. I'm gonna put the camera through some durability testing. We're gonna look at the distance capabilities, and then we'll wrap up with pros, cons. I'll tell you guys where to get it and how much it costs. I do wanna disclose that the company sent me this camera to play with, but if you guys have seen my other videos, whether I purchase the item or I get it for free, all of my opinions are based on the testing that I do. This video is gonna be no different, so let's check it out. All right guys, here it is from Exodus. We have the Lift 2. Let's go ahead and open it up. Got the camera, tree strap, the USB, window decal. Looks like they've got some kind of co-promotion with a software company called Deer Lab. The user guide, warranty card, and that's it. Alright, let's check this thing out. Looks like they've got a new camo pattern. You got the LED IR flash unit, the lens, it's the sensors down here. If you look at the bottom, we've got the microphone, an external power port, so you could put an external battery on it. This is the tray here for the batteries. It slides out. I'll show you that in a little bit. There's a 1/4x20 mounting adapter down here. There's also another one on the bottom, depending on how you guys mount your tree cams. The strap slides through here. You could run a cable around the tree and lock it for security. You can also run a cable through here, if you can see that. So you can lock the unit itself so you can't open the housing. And you got the clips on the side, one on each side. Alright, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Peel this off here. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is batteries and SD card. The batteries they recommend for this camera are lithium, so I went ahead and picked up some Energizer lithium batteries, and then this camera does take up to a 32 gig SD card. Hold on, let's back up for a second there. The user guide does say to use up to a 32 gig card, but I saw on the website that they talked about a 64 gig card. So I didn't want to mess you guys up. I contacted the company, got some clarification. This camera can take up to a 64 gigabyte card, no issues there. You want to look for a class 10. If you're not sure what class 10 means, there's a number with a little circle around it. That's how you know. The SD card just goes in the side. You'll hear a click, and then the card is in. As far as the batteries go, there's a button right here. You push it, the tray pops out of the bottom of the camera, and that's where the batteries go. 8 AA. I'm going to put those in right now. Now you take the housing, it's got the batteries in it, slide it right back in the bottom, and you can just kind of jam it in there like the magazine on your pistol. We're going to take a little bit closer look at the inside right now. This little white tag or label has your serial number on it. You're going to want to know that when you guys register your camera for the warranty. This camera comes with a 2-inch viewing screen. Below that you've got the toggle switch, on, off, and setup. And then if you go over here to the left, you've got the directional. On the top you've got the menu button, and then there's 4 arrows, up, down, left, and right, and then below that you've got the enter button. Now we're going to go ahead and turn it on and buzz through some of the functionality of this camera. Now that you've physically seen the camera up close and personal, I'm going to take you through the functions and show you what it's capable of doing. Okay, you got the batteries in, you got the SD card in. Let's set this thing up. I'm going to go ahead and switch this thing to setup and we'll get started. I'm also going to shut the lights off so you guys can see a little bit better. So what you're seeing right now is a reverse view. If you want to get the camera set up and aim it, it's looking back at me right now. So while you're on this screen, if you hit the top menu button again, now you're in the setup. If we hit enter, we can go to mode. The camera can be set to photo, video, time lapse, or hybrid. If you hit enter, we'll pick your setting. We'll also take you back to the first screen. If we go down, set the clock, image size, 3 megapixels all the way up to 12 megapixels. Burst count anywhere from 1 to 9. Here's an example of a burst of 3. Video size. High definition video at either 720 or 1080p, 30 frames per second. Video length, anywhere from 5 to 90 seconds per video. Time format, 12-hour or 24-hour trigger delay. So this is the time that it takes to reset and take another picture, or take a second picture. You can set it to go off anywhere from 1 second between pictures all the way to, 59 minutes and 59 seconds, so almost an hour delay. Trigger sensitivity, you can set this to high, medium, or low. The IR flash range, high, medium, or low as well. Time lapse will take a picture at an interval that you set. So here, every 10 seconds it will automatically take a picture, and then you can set that all the way up to, 1 picture every 24 hours. Operating hours, if you want to turn that on, you can. What this means is a start and stop time, so maybe you want to monitor an area just in the evening or just in the morning. It'll only take pictures between that time. Timestamp, turn that on or off. Obviously that's found at the bottom of the picture. Temperature can be done in Fahrenheit or Celsius. Frequency, 50 or 60 hertz. Camera name, name it anything you want. If you scroll down, there's actually lowercase letters as well. Enable a password. If it's on, you set a 5-digit passcode and you need to put this in to unlock your screen. Coordinates, you can put the GPS coordinates of your camera location. Language, format, if you have a brand new SD card, you're using the camera for the first time, you're going to want to go ahead and format that card, it'll work the best. Default settings, we'll switch it to the default settings obviously, and then the last one is version guides. This one's important. Check what version you're running and then go over to their website and look at their firmware updates. Make sure you're running the most current version so the camera will perform at its best. Okay, now that the camera's set up, we can hit menu again. Now we'll go back to the screen that allows you to aim the camera. What we're going to do is switch it to the left to off, flip it back to the left to on. Now your camera's ready to go. There'll be a countdown in the bottom right hand corner. Now it's ready. If I move a little bit, now it's taking a picture. Okay, if we turn it off, slide it back to the right. Now you're checking your trail cameras. You've had it out for a few weeks. You go back to menu, or you go back to setup, I'm sorry. While you're on this screen, hit play, and that takes you to the pictures that have already been taken. You can use the directionals to scroll back through, and that's it. Okay guys, the great thing about testing out a trail camera is I can't sit here and BS you because at some point I gotta show you the pictures and I gotta show you the videos. In this next segment, you guys are gonna be able to see daytime and nighttime pictures and videos that I obtained while testing this camera out. Just so you know, in all of my testing, I left the settings on 12 megapixels for the images, 1080p high definition for the videos, and I did have the sensitivity on high. Okay, the next part of this video, I'm going to test the distance capabilities of the motion sensors on this camera. The company advertises that you should be able to get pictures and videos at 60 feet both in day and nighttime conditions. During the daytime, I walked by this camera at 10 feet, 20 feet, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and 80 feet. 70 feet was 10 feet farther than the advertised distance of 60 feet. Let's move on to nighttime. I did the exact same thing when the sun went down, walked by the camera at 10 feet, 20 feet, 30, 40, 50, 60, And at 70 and 80 feet, I didn't get any pictures, which was kind of expected. All right, moving on, guys. Next, I did some durability testing with the camera. While the durability testing isn't long-term by any means, I like to do these tests because I want to make sure that Mother Nature doesn't shut this camera down on day one when you get it in the tree. The first thing I wanted to do was look at how heat affected the camera. I threw it in the car on a hot day where temperatures reached up to nearly 100 degrees. Every time I opened the door, pictures were taken, no issues there. The next thing I did was took the camera and I threw it right in the freezer. Temperatures submerged under 0 degrees in that freezer, but every time I opened the door, a picture was taken. The last thing I wanted to do was make sure this camera was waterproof, so I got the hose out and I watered it down. After drowning it out for a little while, I wiped it off, I opened up the housing to make sure there was no leaks and there was no water in the camera whatsoever, and the camera continued to work fine. Alright guys, let's get after some of the pros and cons here. Pros. By far the biggest thing that jumped off the page for me with this new camera was the 1080p high-def daytime video. Obviously you guys can be the judge of that looking at this video right here, but I thought that the daytime video of this camera, as far as clarity and quality goes, will rival any of the cameras that are on the market right now. The next thing is the distance capabilities of this camera. This isn't my opinion, this is just fact. I tested the camera out to 60 feet, both day and night, because that's what it's advertised at. During the daytime, I did get consistent 70-foot pictures, and I didn't show it before, but actually messing around, I did get some 80-foot pictures during daytime conditions, which really exceeds my expectations for this camera during the day. And as far as nighttime, they said it was going to work 60 feet. It worked 60 feet, so I was happy with that. The next thing was I found the viewfinder that's built in on the camera was easy to see, easy to operate, easy to go back and look at pictures on the camera as well as delete them. All right, guys, and if security is your thing, check this out. You can cable lock it to a tree, you can lock the housing itself, you can set a security code so nobody can get into the camera, and as part of their 5-year no BS warranty, if the thing gets stolen or if it gets damaged, they'll give you 50% off a replacement camera. Let's move on to cons. I had one issue with the camera that came up a few times, and it had to do with the sensitivity of the camera. Now, with the second generation camera, they did add sensitivity levels, low, a medium, and a high. In all my testing, I kept it on high. Several times I found when walking in front of the camera, and you can see it in the pictures here, that the camera was actually taking pictures before I was even moving into the frame. In these examples, you can see my shadow coming into the frame, but I'm not quite there yet. It's just something to be aware of, but there are a couple quick fixes that you guys can do to take care of this. The first thing is mess with the sensitivity level. If you have it on high and it's taking pictures too soon, put it on medium. If it's on medium taking pictures too soon, put it on low. Mess around until you can figure out the right setting for you and the environment that you're in. The second thing is this camera takes up to a 64 gig card, so you don't have to worry about storage. You don't have to worry about taking too many pictures. So if you have concerns with the camera taking pictures too fast, put it on a burst of 2. Put it on a burst of 3. So if you miss the buck, the first picture, you're going to get them the second and the third time. The last thing I want to touch on is just limitations of this video, guys. I didn't test the battery life of this camera because if I did do that, it would probably take another 3 or 4 or 5 months or however long this camera lasts in the woods before I could even get this video out. And then you guys wouldn't have all the other information. So what I'm going to do is this camera's going in the woods after the making of this video. I'm going to leave it in there with fresh batteries until it doesn't run anymore. I'm going to use the lithium batteries that the company recommends. And once I figure out how long it lasts, I'll try to remember to put some comments under this video. You guys can come back and look and see how long it lasts. Let's move this thing along. I'm going to tell you guys where to get it, how much it costs. The making of this video was September 2017. At that time, the camera, $229. Best place for you guys to get this camera, guys, is right at the company's website, ExodusOutdoorGear.com. I'm also going to put that in the description of the video. That's it for today, guys. As with all my videos, I try to give you as much information as I could, so as the consumer, you could make a decision on if you like the product or not. I also want to say a quick thank you to African Barefoot Safaris for letting me hang this camera in the bush for a week and getting some badass pictures. I'm going to leave their information below this video as well, so you guys can check them out. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hit that subscribe button. If you guys want to leave comments, cool, throw a thumbs up on there. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Peace.